You have a firm to run, a team to manage, and a mountain of data to protect. You likely have an IT provider who keeps your computers running. But do you have a qualified individual ensuring you stay on the right side of the law? Welcome to The Qualified Individual, the 10-minute briefing for smart accounting firms. I'm your host, and I'm here to help you bridge the gap between standard IT and total FTC compliance. Every episode, we strip away the jargon to talk about the FTC Safeguards Rule, the hidden risks your MSP is likely missing, and the strategies that protect your client data and your personal liability. So, let's grab your coffee and let's get to work. A common situation at CPA firms. Someone gets named as the qualified individual, an email goes out, and then nothing. That's the moment when a lot of firms get stuck. They've checked the compliance box. Yes, we have a qualified individual, but they haven't actually built the governance structure around that role to make it functional. Here's the issue. Designating a qualified individual is step 1. Making the role actually work is steps 2 through ongoing. And that requires building a governance process, a structured way of doing security reviews, documenting findings, reporting to leadership, and making decisions about security investments. And let me walk you through what makes a qualified individual role functional using a real example. Let's say your accounting manager, Jennifer, is your qualified individual. She spends about 15% of her time on security. In early January, before anyone's thinking about tax season, Jennifer sits down with your IT provider. They pull up your access inventory, the spreadsheet that lists every employee, contractor, and any temporary staff, along with what systems they have access to. They go through every single person and ask, does this person still work here? Does their access level match their current role? Are there any systems they're accessing that they shouldn't be? This quarterly access review typically takes a couple of hours for a 20-person firm. For each person, Jennifer documents the date of the review, the access level they found, and whether any changes are needed. If someone's access is too broad, she notes that. If someone left the firm and still has access, she documents that and immediately works with IT to remove it. If someone changed roles and their access hasn't been updated, that gets flagged. At the end of that review, Jennifer has a document. It's the evidence that you did a quarterly access review. It's what you'll show to regulators or insurers if they ask whether you're managing access. By mid-January, before Jennifer gets too busy with anything else, she schedules a 30-minute meeting with your managing partners. This is her quarterly security review with leadership. She brings 3 things: the access review documentation, any incidents or unusual activity that occurred since the last review, and an update on any security projects, like if you're implementing MFA, or if you've made changes to your incident response plan. In that 30-minute meeting, Jennifer walks through what she found. She might say, we did our access review. Everything looks clean. We have 18 active employees, 2 contractors, and 1 temporary staff member for tax season. I noticed that Mike's access to the accounting system is broader than his current role requires, so I'm working with IT to adjust that. I also noticed we still have an email account for someone who left in November, so we're cleaning that up this week. No security incidents this quarter. Our incident response plan is current. We're still planning to implement MFA in Q2. That conversation happens at the partner level. It's not IT talking about technology. It's your qualified individual reporting on whether you're managing security risk, and it gets documented. Jennifer sends a 1-page summary to the partners. Q1 access review and security update. That document becomes your record that you're managing security. Now fast forward to March. Jennifer's busy with tax season, but she still needs to be thinking about security. One of her responsibilities is monitoring for unusual activity. She checks in with your IT provider once a week. Just a quick call. Any suspicious activity? Any alerts? If there's something that looks odd, she investigates it. Did someone access files at 2 a.m. on a weekend? Is there a legitimate reason? If not, that's flagged. Did someone attempt to log in from an unusual location? Is that expected? Maybe they're traveling? If not, she looks into it. She documents what she found. When her Q2 meeting comes around, Jennifer updates the partners. We had 1 incident this quarter. Someone's email got phished during tax season, and we had to reset their password. IT caught it quickly because they were monitoring for suspicious activity. We've retrained that person. No other incidents. Our tax season access audit for temporary staff is complete. Everyone was deprovisioned on their last day. That's the governance structure. Quarterly access reviews, quarterly partner meetings, ongoing monitoring, incident documentation, and periodic testing of your incident response plan. Now, what's Jennifer actually maintaining as documentation? Let me walk you through what your firm should have in place and what Jennifer is responsible for. The first thing is your information security program document. This is the master document that describes how your firm approaches security. It's not a compliance document. It's a practical description of what you do. It describes your risk assessment process, your access control policy, your incident response plan, your encryption approach, your backup process, your monitoring approach, your training program. For a 20-person firm, this might be 10 to 15 pages. Jennifer updates this whenever something changes, and the managing partners review it annually. Next is your access control policy. This is a shorter document, maybe 2 to 3 pages, that describes your approach to access management. Who approves access? How is access granted? How often is it reviewed? What's your password policy or MFA requirement? What's the process for removing access? This is a real document that your firm has adopted. Then there's your risk assessment. Jennifer conducts a formal risk assessment at least annually. What data does your firm hold? What systems store that data? What are the threats to those systems? What vulnerabilities do they have? What's the business impact if something goes wrong? The result is a document that identifies your key risks and what controls you have to mitigate them. Quarterly, Jennifer reviews this and asks, what's changed? New systems? New data flows? Updated threats? She documents that review. After that, your access reviews. Every quarter, Jennifer documents the access review. Who was reviewed? What access they have? What changes were made? What issues were found? This is straightforward documentation. A date, a list of people and their access, any notes about changes or issues, and Jennifer's signature. There's also your incident log. Every incident, no matter how small, gets documented. A phishing email that someone reported? Documented. A suspicious login? Documented. A device that was lost? Documented. The log includes the date, what happened, who discovered it, what action was taken, and the outcome. This log becomes part of your security program documentation, and it's evidence that you're monitoring and investigating. Then there's your backup testing documentation. At least quarterly, Jennifer verifies that your backup process is working. She might ask your IT provider, when was the last backup? How long would it take to restore? She documents the answer. Better yet, she has IT actually restore a backup to a test system and verify that the data is intact. That test gets documented. You also need your incident response plan. This is a living document. Jennifer reviews it at least annually and updates it whenever something changes. It includes your incident response team, contact information, investigation process, notification procedures, and reporting requirements. Another piece is your vendor management documentation. If you use an MSP, a cloud provider, a backup service, or other vendors, Jennifer documents her understanding of their responsibilities, any service agreements, and her quarterly check-ins with them. Then there's your security training documentation. When you do security training, document when it happened, who attended, and what was covered. This is evidence that you're running a security awareness program. And finally, your quarterly partner reports. These are Jennifer's monthly or quarterly updates to the partners. What was reviewed, what was found, what incidents occurred, what's being worked on. Now, here's the thing about all this documentation. It's not busy work. It's evidence. It's evidence that your firm is actually managing security. When a regulator or an insurer asks whether you have a security program, you can hand them this documentation and say, here's our program. Here's how we implement it. Here's evidence that we're doing it. Jennifer's role is to maintain this structure and keep it moving. She's not installing software or fixing networks. She's coordinating the people and processes that make security governance happen. She's asking the right questions. She's documenting the answers. She's reporting to leadership. She's identifying gaps and working with IT to close them. Here's what makes it work at a practical level. Jennifer blocks 30 minutes on her calendar once a quarter to meet with leadership. She blocks 2 to 3 hours once a quarter to do the access review with IT. She checks in with IT once a month about security issues. She maintains a simple spreadsheet or document where she's tracking what needs to be done, things like implement MFA or update the incident response plan, and what's been done. She has a running list of questions for the IT provider. How's our backup testing going? Any new vulnerabilities? Any unusual activity? For a mid-sized firm, the qualified individual might be spending 25 to 30% of their time on this. The governance structure is similar, but there's more depth. Maybe there are more vendors to manage. Maybe there are more access scenarios to review. Maybe there are monthly check-ins with leadership instead of quarterly. Here's what's really important. This governance structure isn't something you build and then check off. It's ongoing. And here's the benefit. When your qualified individual is actually doing this work, your firm gets better. You catch access issues that might have led to a breach. You catch dormant accounts that could be exploited. You find gaps in your controls and fix them. You build a security culture where people understand that security matters because it's being managed visibly by leadership. Create a template for the access review documentation. Schedule the first partner meeting. Create a simple incident log. Document. That's it for today's episode. If what we talked about resonated with you, I'd encourage you to take the next step. Head over to safeguardgrc.com. That's safeguardgrc.com. It's the platform I built specifically for CPA firms to manage everything we've been discussing. Your risk assessments, your policies, your access reviews, your vendor oversight, your training documentation. All in one place, mapped directly to the FTC Safeguards Rule and IRS publication 4557. You don't need to figure this out alone, and you don't need to build it from scratch. Safeguard GRC walks you through it, module by module, so you can get your governance program up and running without becoming a security expert. Whether you're just getting started or you're preparing for your next insurance renewal, it gives you the structure and the documentation to do it right. While you're there, check out the book, The Governance Gap, for the full picture of how CPA firms are meeting these requirements without overhauling their operations. And if you found this episode helpful, share it with a colleague. Chances are they're dealing with the same questions you are. Thanks for listening. I'll see you in the next one.